Jokic and Murray are back. Last night was all about the duo finally clicking again. It's been a long time coming, but when these two are in sync, they're one of the best 1-2 punches in the league. And after everything Murray's been through this season, this performance was exactly what the Nuggets needed. Murray was on another level, dropping 31 points and dishing out 11 assists. That's the version of him Denver's been waiting for, the one who plays with confidence, controls the offense, and takes over when it matters most. And when he's playing like this, the Nuggets go from dangerous to straight up terrifying. It's not just the scoring. He had 6 rebounds, a steal, and a block too. He was everywhere, making plays, keeping the offense flowing, and proving that when he's in rhythm, he's an absolute game changer. But Jokic, he's been on another planet all season. He dropped 28 points, 13 assists, and 8 rebounds. That's just normal for him at this point. He almost had his 22nd triple-double of the season. And it's not just the numbers. It's the way he controls the game. He's got this rare ability to slow things down, make the right decision every single time, and punish defenses in ways nobody else can. When it got tight late in the game, guess who showed up? Jokic, 13 points in the fourth quarter. When Maxey was trying to take over, Jokic said, "Nah, not tonight." He buried the dagger 3 with 39 seconds left. That's the MVP level stuff that makes him special. And here's the thing, Jokic has been doing this all season. He's averaging almost 30 points per game while ranking second in assists and third in rebounds. The efficiency, 57% from the field. That's absurd. And it's not just empty stats, it's impact. The Nuggets rely on him to be their engine, and he delivers every single time. Murray, though, his season has been a roller coaster. He's been dealing with struggles, inconsistency, and it just hasn't looked right at times. But when he plays like this, it's a completely different team. He's at 20 points per game for the season, but those numbers don't tell the whole story. When he's locked in, Denver's offense runs at a whole different level. And now, it looks like the duo is finally back together. That chemistry, that connection, it's been there for years. But they needed a night like this to remind everyone what they can do. They combined for 59 points and 24 assists. That's ridiculous. That's not just great, that's elite. That's championship caliber basketball. Jokic already has 21 triple-doubles this season. Nobody else is even close. LeBron's next on the list with 9. Sabonis has 8. The gap between Jokic and everyone else is just unreal. And if he keeps this up, that MVP conversation is going to get real interesting. But more than anything, except this was a statement win. The Sixers had Maxey going off for 42, and Denver still found a way to win. That's what happens when your superstar duo takes over. It wasn't about one crazy play, it was about execution, trust, and confidence in the moment. This version of Denver, it's scary. Jokic is playing at an MVP level, and if Murray keeps this up, the Nuggets are going to be a nightmare for everyone. But when you dig into the advanced numbers for this duo, it gets even scarier. We'll start with their scoring. Let's start with Jokic, because honestly, his stats are from another planet. He's averaging almost 30 points per game, 29.6 to be exact. That's more than 89% of players in the league. But here's the thing, it's not just the volume of points, it's the way he's getting them. His effective field goal percentage is a mind-blowing 62.2%. That's better than 99% of players. Yes, 99%. Do you know how insane that is? That means almost no one in the league is scoring as efficiently as him, and he's doing it while being the focal point of every defense. But what makes this duo lethal is how their numbers intertwine. Murray's been on a roller coaster this season, but when he's locked in, like he was last night, his stats pop off the page. He's averaging over 20 points per game, which puts him ahead of 91% of players. His effective field goal percentage is 52.2%, which is solid, especially considering the tough shots he takes. Murray isn't just taking wide open looks. He's creating shots off the dribble, pulling up in transition, and hitting contested jumpers. And when he's hot, that efficiency skyrockets. By the way, if you guys enjoy these deep dives, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, the duo. Here's where it gets even more fascinating. Jokic is scoring 1.2 points per field goal attempt, while Murray is at 1.0. Now, that might not sound like a huge gap, but over the course of a game, it adds up fast. Jokic's efficiency isn't just good, it's historically great. His true shooting percentage is a ridiculous 65.6%. That's better than 92% of players. It's like he's playing a different game. Meanwhile, Murray's true shooting percentage is 55.7%, which is still above average. Considering he's often taking the toughest shots on the floor, that's impressive. Think about it. Jokic takes about 19.8 shots per game, and he maintains that absurd efficiency. He's scoring nearly 30 points a night without forcing shots. That's what makes him so special. He picks his spots, reads the defense, and makes the right play every single time. On the other hand, Murray takes around 16.5 shots per game. And when he's in rhythm, like he was last night, his scoring flows so naturally, it feels effortless. They're both hitting over 2 3-pointers a game, which adds another layer to their offensive versatility. But it's not just about the raw numbers, it's about how those numbers reflect their impact on the game. Jokic's true shooting percentage means he's getting the absolute most out of every possession. He's scoring 1.3 points per scoring attempt. That's efficiency at its peak. Murray's at 1.1, and while that's lower than Jokic's, it's still impressive because of the level of difficulty in his shot selection. He's taking pull-up threes, step-back jumpers, and contested mid-range shots, yet he's still scoring efficiently. And let's not forget about free throws. Jokic gets to the line about 6 times per game, adding easy points to his total. Murray's at around 3.6 free throw attempts per game, which shows he's aggressive, but not living at the line. The fact that both players are so efficient without relying heavily on free throws speaks to their elite shot-making ability. What's really cool is how their stats complement each other. Jokic's efficiency creates space for Murray. Defenders have to collapse on Jokic because he's a threat to score or pass at any moment. That opens up lanes for Murray to attack. Conversely, when Murray's hitting his shots, defenses have to stretch out, which gives Jokic more room to operate inside. It's a perfect inside-outside dynamic. And when both are clicking, defenses are stuck in an impossible situation. But where they both majorly shine is their teamwork numbers. For Jokic, his mixed teamwork rating is higher than 99% of players in the league. That's not just good, that's historic. It means that when he's on the floor, he's creating a positive margin for his team better than almost anyone else. His offensive rating, a jaw-dropping 126.2. That's an absurd number. It means that when Jokic is in the game, the Nuggets offense operates at a ridiculously high level, scoring with incredible efficiency. Now here's where it gets even more exciting. Murray's not far behind. His mixed teamwork rating is higher than 93% of players. Considering he's had an up and down season, that's impressive. It shows that even when he's not at his absolute best, he's still making a huge difference for the team. His offensive rating is 122.4. That's elite. It's proof that when Murray's on the court, the Nuggets offense clicks on another level. He brings energy, pace, and shot making that keeps defenses on their heels. But teamwork isn't just about offense. Their defensive ratings tell another part of the story. Jokic's defensive rating is 115.1, while Murray's is 117.5. Now those might not be lockdown defensive numbers, but that's not the point. The key is in their net ratings, which combine offense and defense to show their overall impact. Jokic's net rating is an insane plus 11.1. That means when he's on the court, the Nuggets outscore their opponents by over 11 points per 100 possessions. That's dominance. Murray's net rating is plus 4.9, which is still really strong and shows how valuable he is to the team, especially when he's playing with confidence and rhythm. And when you dig into their plus-minus numbers, the story gets even better. Jokic has a positive plus-minus in 69% of his games this season. That's absolutely ridiculous. It means that in nearly 7 out of every 10 games, the Nuggets are winning the minutes he's on the floor. That kind of consistency is rare. Murray's at 54.8%, which is still really solid. And when you consider how he struggled earlier in the season, it makes it even more impressive. When Murray's firing on all cylinders, that number climbs fast, and it's no coincidence that the Nuggets start pulling away in games when both guys are in sync. Now let's talk about their on-off stats, because this is where you see just how much they mean to the team. Jokic's on-off difference is a mind-blowing plus 12.5. That's not just MVP level, that's carry the whole franchise level. It means that when he's on the floor, the Nuggets are outscoring teams by over 12 points per 100 possessions. That's the definition of impact. Murray's on-off is plus 4.7, which shows he's still making a significant difference. And when he's playing with the confidence and aggression he showed last night, that number goes through the roof. But here's where it all comes together. They're even better when they're on the court together. Jokic's presence makes life easier for Murray. His elite passing and ability to draw defensive attention create open looks for Murray. And Murray's shot-making ability forces defenses to stretch out, giving Jokic more room to operate inside. It's not just a good duo. It's a perfectly balanced partnership. They complement each other's strengths in a way that few players in the league can. When both of them are on the floor, the Nuggets offense flows like a dream. Their combined offensive ratings skyrocket because defenses simply don't know who to focus on. Double Jokic, Murray's ready to hit a three or blow by his defender. Try to trap Murray, Jokic will find the open man with a perfect pass. It's like a never-ending chess match, and Jokic and Murray are always 2 moves ahead. And then their ball handling is even crazier. Starting with their overall ball handling metrics, Jokic ranks higher than 99% of players, while Murray isn't far behind, sitting above 96%. That's not just good, it's elite. And what makes it even crazier is that we're talking about a center and a guard here. You expect guards like Murray to be great with the ball, but Jokic, a 7-footer, handling the rock better than almost everyone in the league? That's just unheard of. When you look at their assist numbers, the connection becomes even clearer. Jokic averages an insane 10.1 assists per game, which puts him ahead of 98% of players. But Murray isn't slacking either. He's dishing out 6.1 assists per game, better than 82% of players. Together, that's over 16 assists per game coming from just 2 players. That's not just playmaking, that's controlling the entire flow of the game. And they do it with such precision, it's like they're reading from the same script every night. But it's not just about racking up assists, it's about how efficiently they do it. Jokic's assist percentage is a jaw-dropping 40.11%. That means when he's on the court, he's directly responsible for over 40% of his team's made field goals. Murray's assist percentage isn't far behind at 22.3%. What's crazy is how these numbers combine. Jokic's passing opens up opportunities for Murray to score, and when defenses collapse on Murray, he kicks it right back to Jokic, who either scores or finds the next open man. It's like watching a basketball version of a perfectly timed dance, with each player knowing exactly where the other will be. Now, with all that passing, you'd expect the turnovers to pile up, right? Not with these two. Jokic averages 3.2 turnovers per game, but his turnover percentage is just 8.82%, which is lower than 66% of players. Considering how much he handles the ball and the risky passes he makes, that's insanely efficient. Murray is just as impressive here. He averages only 2.2 turnovers per game with a turnover percentage of 8.4%, better than 71% of players. So not only are they creating plays, but they're doing it while taking care of the ball better than most players in the league. Here's where it gets even more fascinating when you break down the points they generate through their assists. Jokic is responsible for over 24 points per game just from his assists, while Murray adds another 14.5. That's nearly 40 points per game, created directly through their passing. And that doesn't even account for the hockey assists, where their pass leads to another assist. They're not just scoring threats, they're playmaking machines. And it's not just about raw numbers, it's about the decisions they make. Jokic has this incredible ability to slow the game down, almost like he's seeing everything in slow motion. He's reading the defense, anticipating rotations, and making passes that seem impossible. Murray, on the other hand, brings this dynamic, aggressive energy. His ball handling is tight, quick, and decisive. He breaks down defenders off the dribble, collapses the defense, and then either finishes at the rim or dishes it out to an open shooter. And then we can talk about their defense. Starting with Jokic, his mixed team defense ranks higher than 81% of players in the league. That's impressive for a guy who isn't known for traditional shot blocking or highlight reel defensive plays. But defense isn't just about blocks and steals. It's about positioning, awareness, and knowing how to disrupt the opponent's offense. Jokic's defensive numbers show exactly that. He's averaging 1.8 steals per game, which is elite for a big man. That shows his hands are active, his instincts are sharp, and he's constantly reading the game to create turnover. Now let's combine that with Murray's defensive numbers, because while he ranks lower in mixed team defense, higher than 43% of players, his role on defense is different. Murray's job is to guard the perimeter, chase down quick guards, and apply pressure on the ball. He's averaging 1.5 steals per game, which is really solid for a guard who also carries a heavy offensive load. His quick hands and aggressive style force turnovers that lead to fast break opportunities for the Nuggets. But it's not just about steals. When you look at their defensive rebounding numbers, you see how they complement each other. Jokic dominates the glass with 9.6 defensive rebounds per game. That's not just cleaning up missed shots. It's securing possessions, preventing second chance points, and starting fast breaks with quick outlet passes. Murray, on the other hand, averages 3.5 defensive rebounds per game. That might not seem like a lot, but for a guard, it's respectable. Plus, his ability to grab rebounds and push the pace adds another layer to the Nuggets' transition game. Now, let's talk about blocks, because both players contribute here too. Jokic averages 0.6 blocks per game, which isn't eye-popping, but again, his value comes from more than just blocking shots. It's about altering shots, using his size to deter drives, and being in the right spot at the right time. Murray also averages 0.6 blocks per game, which is impressive for a guard. It shows he's not afraid to contest shots, even against bigger players. When you dive deeper into team defensive efficiency, you start to see how their impact really intertwines. With Jokic on the floor, the Nuggets' team defensive efficiency is 115.1. That means the team gives up fewer points per 100 possessions when he's out there, thanks to his ability to anchor the defense, communicate, and position himself to disrupt plays. Murray's team defensive efficiency is 117.5. While it's not as strong as Jokic's, it reflects the different challenges guards face, constantly chasing quick, high-scoring players around screens and staying aggressive on the perimeter. What's fascinating is how their defensive styles complement each other. Jokic provides the stability, acting as the anchor in the paint, while Murray brings the energy and pressure on the perimeter. Jokic's size and basketball IQ allow him to anticipate plays, cut off passing lanes, and help on drives without overcommitting. Murray's quickness and intensity force ball handlers into tough spots, where Jokic can swoop in to help or grab the rebound. And then if we talk about rebound, starting with Jokic, his rebounding numbers are absolutely elite. He's averaging 12.8 rebounds per game, which ranks higher than 97% of players in the league. That's dominance on the glass. But it's not just about the total rebounds, it's how he grabs them. Jokic pulls down 9.6 defensive rebounds per game and adds another 3.2 on the offensive glass. That's a perfect balance of cleaning up missed shots on both ends of the floor. Now, while Murray's numbers aren't as eye-popping, they're still important. He's averaging 4.1 rebounds per game, which puts him ahead of about 30% of players. But considering he's a guard, that's solid. Guards aren't expected to rack up rebounds like big men, but Murray's ability to crash the boards adds value, especially when he's pushing the pace right after securing a rebound. When you dive into offensive rebounding, the contrast between the two becomes even clearer. Jokic grabs 3.2 offensive rebounds per game, ranking higher than 88% of players. His offensive rebound percentage is 9.36%, meaning he grabs nearly 10% of all available offensive boards when he's on the floor. That's huge. Those extra possessions create second chance opportunities, which often lead to easy buckets or open shots after the defense scrambles. Murray's offensive rebounding numbers are much lower, just 0.6 per game, ranking higher than only 18% of players. His offensive rebound percentage is 1.77%, which reflects the reality that guards don't usually fight for boards in the same way big men do. But Murray's value isn't just in the numbers, it's in the hustle plays, those unexpected rebounds where he sneaks in, grabs the ball, and gives the Nuggets an extra shot. Those are momentum-changing plays, even if they don't happen as often. Defensively, Jokic's dominance continues. His defensive rebound percentage is an insane 24.63%. That means he grabs nearly a quarter of all available defensive rebounds when he's on the floor. That's not just cleaning the glass, that's owning it. Murray, on the other hand, has a defensive rebound percentage of 9.19%, which is solid for a guard. He averages 3.5 defensive boards per game, showing he's not afraid to mix it up and help secure possessions. What's really interesting is how their rebounding styles complement each other. Jokic is the anchor, using his size, strength, and positioning to dominate the paint. He boxes out, controls space, and makes sure the Nuggets win the rebounding battle. Murray, meanwhile, plays the role of the opportunist. He reads the trajectory of the ball, crashes in from the perimeter, and grabs boards when defenders least expect it. It's not about size, it's about effort and timing. Offensively, Jokic's rebounding is a nightmare for opposing teams. His 3.2 offensive boards per game create constant pressure. Even when the defense forces a miss, they can't relax, because Jokic is right there, grabbing the rebound and either scoring or finding an open teammate. Murray might not grab as many offensive boards, but when he does, it's usually because he made a smart, sneaky play, slipping in when defenders are focused on the bigs and snatching an unexpected rebound. Their rebounding also plays a huge role in closing out games. Late in tight matchups, every possession matters. Jokic's ability to control the glass ensures the Nuggets secure those crucial defensive boards, preventing second chance points. Murray's hustle for loose balls and long rebounds keeps the pressure on opponents, especially when he grabs a key rebound and quickly pushes the ball up the floor to catch the defense off guard. And then looking at their usage numbers, starting with Jokic, his usage rate is an impressive 29.3%, which ranks higher than 94% of players in the league. That means nearly a third of Denver's offensive possessions end with Jokic making a play, whether it's a shot, a pass leading to an assist, drawing a foul, or committing a turnover. He's the engine of the offense, and everything flows through him. Murray's usage rate is slightly lower at 24.2%, but it still ranks higher than 82% of players. That's a big deal, especially considering how much time he's spent sharing the floor with Jokic, who dominates the ball. Murray's role is all about balancing scoring and playmaking, and his usage reflects that. He's not just out there to shoot, he's a key decision maker in the offense. When you look at their actions per game, the numbers get even more interesting. Jokic takes 19.8 field goal attempts per game, gets to the free throw line 6.1 times, dishes out 10.1 assists, and averages 3.2 turnovers. That's a heavy workload. But what's wild is how efficiently he manages it. Even with that high usage, Jokic rarely forces bad shots. He picks his spots, reads the defense, and makes the right play almost every time. Now, intertwine that with Murray's numbers. He takes 16.5 field goal attempts per game, gets to the line 3.6 times, hands out 6.1 assists, and averages just 2.2 turnovers. His workload is slightly lighter than Jokic's, but his role is just as crucial. Murray's usage often spikes during crunch time, when the Nuggets need someone to create a shot under pressure. That's when he thrives, taking on the responsibility to score or set up a teammate when it matters most. What's fascinating is how their usage rates complement each other. Jokic's high usage means he's involved in almost every play, but that doesn't limit Murray. In fact, it creates more opportunities for him. When Jokic draws double teams or collapses the defense with his passing, Murray becomes the perfect secondary option. And when Jokic is off the floor, Murray's usage jumps because he becomes the primary playmaker. Their combined offensive workload is staggering. Jokic's possessions played per game sit at 77.2, while Murray's are at 75. That means in almost every offensive possession, at least one of them is directly involved in making something happen. They're not just part of the offense, they are the offense. And it's not just about taking a lot of shots. Their efficiency with that usage is what sets them apart. Jokic's ability to maintain high shooting percentages, dish out assists, and limit turnovers despite his heavy workload is rare. Murray's knack for hitting tough shots, creating plays in isolation, and managing the ball with care makes him the perfect complement to Jokic's style. Another interesting layer is how their usage shifts depending on the game situation. In the first half, Jokic often dominates, setting the tone with his scoring and passing. But in the fourth quarter, you'll see Murray's usage spike. That's when he takes over, hitting clutch shots and making big plays when the pressure is highest. It's like they have an unspoken understanding. Jokic controls the flow early, and Murray closes it out late. Their usage also reflects their versatility. Jokic isn't just a scorer, he's a facilitator. His 10.1 assists per game are a testament to how much of Denver's offense runs through his hands. Murray's role shifts between scorer and playmaker, depending on what the team needs. 1 minute, he's hitting a pull-up three. The next, he's driving into the lane to collapse the defense and kick it out to an open shooter. When you combine their usage rates, it's clear that the Nuggets rely heavily on this duo. They're responsible for creating the majority of the team's scoring opportunities, whether it's through their own shots or by setting up teammates. And despite that heavy load, they maintain incredible efficiency, which is what makes them so special. Their synergy is off the charts. Jokic's ability to control the game with his passing and scoring opens up space for Murray to operate, and Murray's dynamic shot-making forces defenses to stretch, giving Jokic more room to work in the post or at the top of the key. It's a perfect balance. Jokic thrives on making the right play, and Murray thrives on making the big play. Even when defenses game plan specifically to stop them, their usage doesn't drop. In fact, it often increases because the Nuggets trust them to make the right decisions under pressure. Double Jokic, he'll find Murray for an open three. Trap Murray, he'll dish it back to Jokic for an easy bucket. It's a constant cycle of offensive pressure that's nearly impossible to contain. And it's not just about volume, it's about impact. Every possession they touch the ball has the potential to shift the momentum of the game. Jokic's patience and vision allow him to dissect defenses slowly, while Murray's quickness and creativity bring an explosive element that keeps opponents guessing. Their usage rates also highlight their durability and consistency. Jokic's workload is massive, but he rarely shows signs of fatigue. His ability to maintain high efficiency despite carrying the offense night after night is remarkable. Murray, coming off injuries in previous seasons, has shown he can handle a significant offensive load while still being effective in crunch time. When you look at the big picture, their usage isn't just a stat. It's a reflection of how much they mean to the Nuggets. They're the focal points of the offense, the guys who make everything happen. Whether it's scoring, passing, or simply making the right read, Jokic and Murray are involved in almost every meaningful play. So when you're watching them play, it's not just about the points they score. It's about how often the ball is in their hands, how many decisions they make, and how consistently they deliver. Their usage rates tell the story of two players who carry an enormous offensive load and do it with a level of efficiency and skill that's rare in the NBA. Jokic and Murray aren't just stars, they're the heartbeat of the Nuggets offense. Their usage isn't just about numbers, it's about the trust the team has in them to make plays, create opportunities, and lead the team to victory. And as long as they're handling the ball this much, the Nuggets will always be a force to be reckoned with. And this duo, they might just be back. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day during the season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.